So we were blessed with beautiful tropical Singapore weather today, perfect to test out the spanking new DJI Avata 2. Well, it was anyways. More flight footage coming up, so let's get started. Well, what's good fam? Rahim here, and it has been a minute. Miss you guys and I'm glad to be back to tell you guys more of what's been going on in the future episodes, so stay tuned. But right now, I'm here at DJI's experiential launch event to give you guys a bit of a first look and hands-on of the DJI Avata 2. Nothing makes sense before coffee, so why is mine in a tin can while this guy has his in a fancy glass cup? So anyways, first hands-on with DJI's new Cinewhoop. It looks to have a flatter and wider design, still having ducted style plastics all around like the OG Avata, but battery and overall hardware has been lowered and the props are now along the center line of the build. They have gone with 3-bladed props instead of 5 like in the first Avata. I won't geek out on the explanation for this, but in my experience, lesser blades have less bite and will make for an airier feeling drone, which means it's smoother, less aggressive on the controls, and apparently quieter in this case. Combined with a lower CG, it should make for an overall stable flight characteristic, well suited to do its job as a cinematic flyer. Word from my bro Victor, who got to test the drone earlier on, said that it handles closer to what a 5-inch FPV drone can do. I'll put a link to his channel if you want to check out more real-world flight footage, and do give him some love, like, share, subscribe and all that good stuff. So anyways guys, DJI heard us. The SD card slot is in an all-new accessible position instead of where it was on the V1. They have kept with the sensors at the bottom, but also added rear obstacle avoidance sensors. Now with all these sensors combined, it makes for a very locked-in drone even without the assistance of GPS. Absence of the front sensors is not actually a bad thing, as having them would interfere with the drone's ability for close proxy flying. Plus, this is a first-person view immersive flying, and if you with your own eyes don't see the obstacle, then a crash is inevitable. The Avata 2 comes with a 1/1.3-inch sensor, which should have better low light capabilities like the Action 4. Recording is about the same as the OG Avata, maxing out at 4K 60 and can go slow-mo at 120 frames per second at 1080p. It has all the electronic image stabilization modes with an upgraded Rocksteady 3.0. Now if you prefer to do your own stabilization, you need to set the field of view to wide angle, and then the drone will be able to keep the gyro data, which in post you can then use gyro flow to stabilize it. The FPV remote controller tree is a revised transmitter, which is still about the same size and has the same button layout, but now the antenna is inbuilt with the new DJI O4 transmission, which on paper is good for up to 13 kilometers, but note the disclaimer. Flight time is also claimed to be longer at around 23 minutes. Now personally, I do not recommend testing this limit, as the drone will want to force land when battery is near empty. This drone is not a submarine guys. This could happen in the middle of the sea or on the roof somewhere, and it could make for a very sad day, and also will degrade the lifespan of the battery. The new Goggles 3 seems to be an integration of the Goggles 2 and the Integra version, having both tactile buttons and touchpads, and also a battery pack at the back to balance the weight. Hardware internally is for the new O4 transmission. Menu layout seems to be the same, but with the external cameras, you can now have a picture-in-picture window to have a view of the surroundings without needing to take off the goggles. The foam kind of feels flimsy, but does make for a more comfortable fit, and Wi-Fi connection solves the issue of having to connect up your phone to the goggles via cable for an external observer and software updates. Note that there are still diopters for the almost blind guys like me, but they only go up to 600 degrees, and I needed the additional lenses, which are of course also included to push it up to 800 degrees. The new motion controller tree, which has the same reverse function as the motion controller 2, but it's a bit smaller and has better button layout, which makes for a more ergonomic joystick. Not just for beginners, but really for anyone that wants to have a no-frills experience toying around with this drone. Didn't get to try out the easy acro for flips and rolls, but will update when I get a chance. So now about the combos. Again, for the Avata 2, like the OG, standard kit comes with drone, battery, goggles 3 and motion controller 3, and getting the Fly More combo gets you 3 bats in total. You want to fly like a pro? You will have to buy the FPV RC3 separately. I really hate that they have gone to package it this way again, but I guess it makes sense to keep the price down for the casual flyer. Is there gonna be backwards compatibility? I've heard that DJI will give a firmware update later for owners of the Goggles 2 and FPV Remote Controller 2 to pair with the Avata 2 standalone drone, but that we will have to wait and see. And when you really get to a stage where, hey, I'm really enjoying FPV now and I want to fly like the real Rahim, I have to get the RC3. But after I get the RC3, I must watch Rahim's Avata tutorials and keep practicing and forever forget about the motion controller and go full pro with the controls and just send it. Well, I'll leave it to you guys to decide on how far you wanna take this aerial hobby. For the price point, the standalone or fly more combos really give you a latest and greatest express path into the world of FPV drone flying, keeping it low frills, almost complete tools for the casual enthusiast, leaving you with just bite-sized obstacles to overcome. Not at all a steep mountain to climb like traditional DIY FPV. Power it up, enjoy the skies, get used to always having goggles on, and with a little bit more money later on, get the controller and really immerse yourself in the full flight controls of FPV flying. That's only if you want to get serious and commit more time in practice. Check out my Avata playlist to have an idea of what you will have to deal with in the journey of FPV flight. Info is in the top right corner of the screen. Totally not to deter guys, I really welcome you into the skies, just that I expect you to know that if you want to go full on manual acro flight, it will take a lot more. Just go and watch my tutorials and have an idea. Alright, that's gonna be it for today. This has been a quick first look into the new DJI Avata 2 drone. And with that, if you have enjoyed this video, do give me a thumbs up. Subscribe if you're not already. Chat with me in the comments. I'll get back to you as soon as I can. And pilots, as always, I'll see you in the skies. Peace!